Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reaction. This is they accidentally leaked new Epstein files, and it's really bad. By channel of Whitezilla, 3.3 million views in a day, about day. Because as far as I know, I think there is a element of you can just copy paste it, and all the restricted things you can see it. So they literally just use PDF, PDF black marker, which is like if you take a screenshot of that becomes a hardcoded thing. But if you do it inside a PDF reader or Acrobat, whatever, yeah, it's a layered up, so you can just like read it through it. I think they did shit like that. How stupid is US government? How are you the richest government on the planet? These people are taking money for free because they have no skill, all these lawyers. How many lawyers are there? 300 or something, as they said? This is insane. This is plea to US government. Give me money, I'll be a lawyer for you. I didn't even read or study to be a lawyer. I'll do much better job than all this shit. I'll just Google the fucking whatever lawyer thing there is, and that will be better than this. And I know how to edit things. Give me money. What the fuck? Let's just watch this one. It's gonna be interesting.
Out yet, but we got access to them. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to access them. Here's what that looks like. It's volume 8 of the files, but you can see right now that they've only released 7 data sets. And so myself, the guys at Jmail, and the guys at Dropsite, we've been investigating this. I've partnered with them to kind of look at some of these files. And they got access to volume 8 early. You would just type it in the URL. It wasn't like indexable on search, but you could just type in the specific URL and it would just come up. You could download the entire zip file, and that's what we did. We've been looking through it. I want to go over some of it because I believe some of what we've seen directly contradicts the FBI's earlier statement that, oh, there's no evidence, or we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. That's what they told us, right? They said, we've already looked through the files. You don't need to see the files back in July. Of course, all the pressure has made them now start releasing some of this stuff. And we believe that this was slated for release, but remember, they weren't going to release all the files yet. They had to hold some back. Well, we believe that these 11,000 files are part of what they held back, because clearly they aren't out, and clearly they were ready, because a lot of these are redacted. I mean, already you can see we found several files that were, once again, over 100 pages of redacted information. So it was all ready to be released. It's unclear why it wasn't. But let me caveat before we get into the material that this is a breaking story, and as such, I'm sure there's going to be some pieces of information that we are interpreting or trying to interpret live, and because of that, I want to warn you to withhold your judgment on some of this stuff until we get more evidence. I'm sure the president's going to be asked about some of this stuff. I'm sure Todd Blanche, Pam Bondi, they're going to get asked about this because it is extremely damning, I think, what we see in some of this. Specifically, I want to draw your attention immediately to the 10 co-conspirators that are mentioned in some of these emails in 2019. Now, this is just alarming stuff, because prior to this, remember that all we really had was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the only people who have ever faced any charges at all. Ghislaine Maxwell, the only one who actually faced consequences, right? But in 2019, apparently...
You know what's scary part about that is Ghislaine did not name these people. She probably didn't even thought of doing that. Why? She's probably scared to do that shit. Money and power. Like, I don't think people have comprehension of what money and power, like, even you might have some idea, but that doesn't come close. The level of power money and influence can have. Look at Epstein. He just, deleted himself. Yeah, sure, right. I'm the guy who's like usually very scientific. I'm the guy who doesn't believe in conspiracy theory. If you've been watching my video, you're like, I'm dismissive of all that shit. And I'm the one who's saying that I don't believe this shit. That accuser of Epstein, like that girl, right? She tried to delete herself, and recently she got into an accident and she had only a few days to live. Yeah, right. She got into an accident. Even I don't believe that shit. This is that level of like, Illuminati bullshit. This is pissing me off. This is the point where people like, you know what, we're not gonna let this go, because this is a brazen show of like, oh, we have money, power, and influence, and we can do all this shit. We'll delete people, make it look like an accident, nobody can do anything. This is what I think, by the way. There is no evidence of anything, but this is what I think. It's my opinion.
There were 10 co-conspirators Now, the people who were sending this to and from have been blacked out, but at the bottom we see that this is the Violent Crime Section, Crimes Against Human Trafficking Unit. And we can see that of the 10 co-conspirators, 3 have been located in Florida, served grand jury subpoenas, 1 in Boston, 1 in New York City, 1 in Connecticut were served. 4 out of the 10 are outstanding with attempts having been made. What is a wealthy businessman in Ohio? A lead is being sent to CV, and the remaining 3 are currently out of pocket. This is stunning stuff. Previously, we did not know how many co-conspirators were suspected of, or I'm not aware of anything like that. And additionally, some of the details on this are revealed later because we see this subject line. It says co-conspirators at the top. And it says, blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in New York City. Blank last night in New York. Contact was made with blank, blank, and blank. By the way, I love how these potential co-conspirators are people who are being blacked out. Like, why? I thought the whole point of this was you couldn't redact people for personal information reasons or for public embarrassment. You could only redact on the basis of it being a victim. And I'm not sure how these people could possibly.
In today's social media world, you can't just tiptoe around like, oh, it might be defamation and this and that. You never do that when people point blank defame somebody online, and defamation lawsuit doesn't even go somewhere. But here, when it's a grievous at this level, look at the title, like, like crimes against, I don't even want to say it on YouTube. What are we talking about here? What is the crime we're talking about here? This is not a small time thing. All right. If they're innocent, time will prove them innocent. You can't just shield them because people might perceive them one way. Like, this is like saying like we don't even want to seek justice because just talking about it is like like a problematic for the victims who are actual victims. No, they deserve justice, even if it might be hard. So what are we even talking about here?
Transparency Act prohibits redactions, quote, on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Has anything been redacted on that basis?
Absolutely, positively not.
But anyways, you can see that it says attempts were made to blank and Brunel, that's Jean-Luc Brunel, the famous who's now dead. Blank is confirmed to live in New York, was away for the holiday weekend. We did not have a good address, but an attempt was made in New York. Attempts are made to Maxwell today. Blank, you get it. Like, it's all the people they suspected this whole time are redacted, of course. And then they say, I do not know about Ohio contacting Wexner. Now, that's a reference to Les Wexner, the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. This is huge. We've long suspected that he was, of course, one of the co-conspirators. And obviously, the fact the FBI suspected it isn't a 100% proof confirmation. But clearly, they were serving grand jury subpoenas. I mean, that must be who they're.
Okay, Trump being, owner of one of the beauty pageant, what was it, Miss World or whatever. Now Victoria's Secret's guy, the top guy, all these women, man, who are in this, like the models. Imagine their life, all that casting couch or shit that must have happened. Just thinking about makes me think like, holy shit, that's the entire world. There will be a documentary about that one day, massive documentary, which everybody will be disgusted by, let's just say.
They're talking about one wealthy businessman in Ohio, because later it's confirmed by this whole idea of Ohio contacting Wexner. And you can see at the bottom, this is from the FBI New York. When you get a chance, give me an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators. This is really bad to know that we knew as early as 2019 the right people to target, and yet our FBI, who's had evidence of this the entire time, or leads on it, has declined to prosecute. Right? Because this is what the FBI now tells us. Oh, don't bother. Don't worry about it. That's what they wanted us to believe in July. Fast forward to December, we find out there's 10 guys that they knew about since like 6 years ago. It's insane. Even over here,
FBI is going to like prosecute official from FIFA, a soccer company. I mean, I'm not against this. Fuck FIFA. But they're going to do that shit. That's not even concerned with USA, mostly. They're mostly like French and like European thing. They're going to prosecute them. When something concerns America, yeah, FBI is like, don't worry about that. Yeah, we'll be selective with our judgment.
we see that in one of the lawsuits, I believe this is with Maxwell, the government actually wanted to refer to people at trial as co-conspirators of the defendant, aka Maxwell, for the purposes of a rule. And then they say Jeffrey Epstein, and then there are two names listed there who are going to be listed as co-conspirators. Again, who are those people? We were told that the only co-conspirator now is Maxwell, and if you don't believe that, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. But back in 2020, this was an idea not just promulgated by wackos, it was promulgated by who? The FBI themselves, the Department of Justice. Look at this. Co-conspirator question transcript. This is from USA NYS. They say, question, when Jeffrey Epstein died, a lot of people asked, who's next? Is the government going to hold people who are accused of helping him recruit these girls? Are they going to hold them accountable? And then the answer is, well, I'll note that the original charges against Jeffrey Epstein contained a conspiracy charge, and we allege that there were conspirators involved. Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have done what he did without the assistance of others. And I can assure you that our investigation is moving forward, except I guess not. Against everyone except for Ghislaine Maxwell, it got killed. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell was the only one who faced justice, right? Except then she got moved to Club Fed, to this nice prison, right? And by the way, that a whole interesting interview we saw happen with Todd Blanche, which is Trump's former defense lawyer. So he got grilled on Meet the Press about his relationship. Like, why did Ghislaine Maxwell go to this nicer prison immediately afterwards? And while he declines to comment on it, he says something very interesting.
Why was she moved just days after you interviewed her, Mr. Blanche?
So that's a Bureau of Prison Security issue that I will not talk about.
Did you have
But I think
anything
it's
to
fair
do with
say
it? Did
that
you
at
have
the
anything to do with it?
Let me finish. First of all, I am responsible for the Bureau of Prisons. So every decision that they make lands on my desk to the extent it needs to. But just let me talk about the security issue. At the time that I met Ms. Maxwell, there was a tremendous amount of scrutiny and publicity towards her, and the institution she was in, she was suffering numerous threats against her life. So the BOP is not only responsible for putting people in jail and making sure they stay in jail, but also
I don't want to do whataboutism, but did you do the similar shit with every single prisoner you have there who might be under threat? Who's like, you know, like, things are not even clear, but like people perceive them as guilty and like their own prisoners are after them. Did you provide protection for them? No, let's provide protection for P-word people who are famous for that. Epstein's partner, let's provide security for that, but screw everyone else. Selective justice. This is why people, people become conspiracy theorists and people say bullshit. This is why. This is where suddenly like your inner justice came out, like, oh, we have to protect her.
For their safety.
All right, so he's like, yeah, that's crazy. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But every decision lands on my desk. I mean, eventually he goes on to say that, oh, she was in so much danger. We were worried about her safety as a prisoner. I just got to say, there's a lot of concern about Ghislaine Maxwell. All of a sudden, I don't know where that came from. There's not a lot of concern about these conspirators that I guess we've swept under the rug, that we don't care about anymore since 2019. Them and didn't care. And what's even more concerning is our president also seems concerned with the wrong people. Like, while Todd Blanche is concerned about Ghislaine Maxwell's safety and well-being, you've got Trump concerned about the people who are going to be unfairly implicated in the Jeffrey Epstein files, rather than worrying about how to catch the people that we obviously let go through the cracks.
The victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, but I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me, too. Everybody was friendly with this guy. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago.
Now, I'll be honest, he gets off.
Man, fuck you. Look, again, I'm not against Trump, but fuck you. I don't care. You have a file situation here. This is worst of the worst. People, do you understand how bad this crime is? If you go to jail and you're known for being that, the murderers and criminals there are just worst of the worst people will try to kill you because they can't let that shit go. This is how bad this is. And your president saying, oh, this is terrible. You wanted, oh, Democrats wanted this. Wanted what? To have investigation, to get something out. You're saying that's terrible? So your conclusion is, let's not investigate this. Let's sweep that under the rug. And I'm going to say that as an open statement. Is your people that stupid that you can say that and they won't get pissed off? Is that how stupid MAGA is now? If you're MAGA in the comments, please comment down and justify this shit, because I know you will. This is not about politics anymore. Your president is point blank saying like, oh, okay, Democrats wanted this, I didn't want this. Okay, just like this is just terrible thing that we are investigating file people. This is worst of the worst criminal on the planet. That even criminals don't like it. Even murderers would be like, this is the worst, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna shank you. This is the type of people, the top level people, by the way. Let's create the P-file Olympics. They are the top gold medalists right now. And your president is saying, okay, why are we investigating this? This is like terrible. Fuck you. This pissed me off. Usually I'm like, oh, look at how shit is happening. This pissed me off. Really, this is your statement? You're not even trying to hide it. Because you know your people are that stupid. This is what it is, right?
Track from here, but the point he was making is that those poor innocent bankers who were meeting with Epstein, the poor lawyers who were meeting with Epstein, like all of Epstein's friends are just caught up in this unfortunate thing.
Okay, let's say I even understand this point. The people who are gonna be cancelled unnecessarily, cancel culture, I don't like that either. But his point of like, this is terrible, this is that, you're saying it's terrible to investigate P-file people? If you just made the point like, oh, this definitely should be investigated. This is definitely the biggest issue we have. We're going to make this a priority. But it's going to be unfortunate that, like some people might be dragged into it. I would have accepted that. No, he's dismissive at the level, why are we even talking about this? Really? Your own people are, even Asmo Gold is against this shit. He's usually pro-Trump.
And it's just such a reversal of what previously the DOJ and FBI believed. In fact, they believed it so much that they got a federal search warrant for the SDNY, and they got it, and part of the seizable data, part of the stuff that they commanded them to seize as part of the search warrant, which, by the way, I think you need some kind of like standard of evidence for. I'm not a lawyer, you guys can chime in. But you can't just get a search warrant without some kind of evidence that you believe there's a crime that's been committed. And part of it says evidence concerning the identity or location of co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein, including blank and Ghislaine Maxwell. So again, who is blank? Well, they keep redacting the names of these co-conspirators uncharged, remember, and now they're saying we have no evidence to charge anybody. Clearly, they had evidence for a search warrant, and it's just completely ridiculous that some of this stuff is redacted and that we're viewing the rich and powerful people who are mentioned as the victims here. Now, that's all I want to talk about for now. Remember, this is a developing story, so...
Okay, I thought you was going to talk about that element where you can literally copy-paste this in a program and see what the redacted names are. Because they literally use PDF reader to redact it, which is like a software layer on top, right? If you create something, that same thing can remove it. If they had taken screenshot of that or something, or literally print it and upload it, that would have been hard-coded. Nobody would be able to know that. But they did that inside PDF file, saved it as a PDF file, and gave PDF file. PDF file is not like a JPEG or something, which is just a photo, and you can't do much about it. Once it's edited, you can't do much about it. PDF file is a, like proper constructive thing, where you can remove things, add things. How stupid is this? That's a new development. So we can see the names of that probably. I'm surprised that video didn't come out from Whitezilla. I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere, like you can do this shit now.
Oh, there's, I'm sure, going to be more evidence that comes out. I will try to keep you updated. I'm probably going to cover more of this stuff in the future because there's so much here. But I had to get this out while it was basically not public yet. I mean, I think it's eventually going to be public. When, we don't know. But you can access all of it at jmail.world. I'll leave a link in the description. They have a special like drive section. The original pitch was it's like...
Yeah, I think that might not last because it's on Google. And Justice Department might go after Google to remove all that shit. I don't know how that's going to work, but yeah. you probably need to put it on proper pen drive if you want to save it. Nothing gets deleted on the internet. It's time to prove that shit. Yeah, I don't know. This is insane. Okay, this day before Christmas. Happy Christmas, by the way. This is what we are talking about. This is how badly the world is fucked. But yeah. By the end of the video, this pissed me off. I don't know. Like, my mood doesn't get, reset that easily. I'm still pissed off. Alright, well, yeah, if you like my next one, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.